Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for this exciting She Has a Deal Q&A webinar. And we're thrilled to have you here as we explore two incredible investment opportunities. At She Has a Deal, we're committed to raising capital to support women-led hotel projects. And today, you'll get a first-hand look at how She Has a Deal Momentum Fund is creating financial growth and impact in the hospitality industry. We have some very special guests with us. We have SHaD founder, Tracy Prigmore, along with two of our talented alumni, Venus Gervin and Jenny Jackman, who will be sharing their experiences, insights, and success stories behind these projects. And we do want to make sure you are asking questions when they come up, so add them to the Q&A down below in the button here, not the chat section though, only the Q&A button. But I do want to see your questions coming in and we'll get to them. So this is a great opportunity for you to learn how to invest, earn passive income, and be part of a movement that's reshaping real estate landscape by supporting diverse women-led businesses. So sit back, relax, and get ready for an inspiring and informative session. So let's dive in. Tracy, over to you.
Hi, hello everyone. Thank you for joining our SHaD Momentum webinar today. Again, I'm Tracy Prigmore and I'm the founder of She Has a Deal, and I'm super excited to be here today with Venus and Jenny, who are alum of the SHaD program, the She Has a Deal program, and they're going to be talking about their deals. And what's really special about SHaD Momentum, we created it in order for you to, with one single investment, to have ownership in two hotels. And so when you invest with SHaD Momentum, you will have ownership interest in Venus's project, which she'll tell you more about. It's a boutique hotel under the Hyatt brand that's located in Stockbridge, Georgia, about 30 minutes south of Atlanta. And then we have Jenny Jackman, who is going to present and tell you more about the True by Hilton, which is a new construction project in California. And you may have heard about that project before if you've been on a SHaD presentation before. But with this particular investment, you get 2 for 1. So it's really exciting to have the opportunity to make one investment and have ownership interest in 2 projects. So hopefully that doesn't confuse anybody, because normally we would have one investment, one project. We wanted to give you a bonus here and have the opportunity to diversify, not just 2 different hotels, but one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast, and one a boutique, and one a upper mid-scale product with Hilton. So it's diversification at its best, where you can invest in one project and have all of your money invested in that one project. With this investment with SHaD Momentum, you will have a diversification of product type in the hotels as well as location type. So that is always a good thing to have some type of diversification when you are investing. So I'm really happy to have this opportunity to present that to you. And we'll have more in the future as well, as we always do. But today, I'm going to turn it over to Venus, and she's going to tell you about the project Golden Crest, what is being called today. I think it's important to note that this is a project where we are taking an existing structure, an adaptive reuse, and bringing it back to life into a hotel. Venus will tell you more, but what I did want to say is that this is a project where we are creating the brand. We are literally in the process of creating the brand, which is completely different than Jenny's project, which is a True by Hilton. The brand is already determined by Hilton, already supported by Hilton's strong reservation system and its loyalty program. We are creating this brand, but it will be supported by Hyatt's reservation system and Hyatt's loyalty program, which is called World of Hyatt. So really exciting to have the opportunity to be on 2 different spectrums, but we're always aimed at creating passive income. And when you invest with us, because we know you can invest with anyone on any type of hotel project, but when you invest with She Has a Deal, you're not only investing to earn passive income, you're investing to transform the industry and bring more women into hotel ownership and development. That's our mission. That is why She Has a Deal exists. So please sit back and enjoy the presentation, and please ask questions, because we want you to understand and know everything about this project. All right, Venus.
Hello, everyone. My name is Venus Gervin, and I'm going to be sharing my screen here. Okay, so my name is Venus Gervin, and I'm an architect in the Atlanta area. And I have worked in the hospitality industry on, adaptive reuse projects, taking older buildings and turning them into boutique hotels. So I'd like to use that experience here on this project from the ownership side of the table. So I found this property located in Stockbridge, Georgia. The property is currently operating as an assisted living facility, and I'm going to turn this into an upscale boutique hotel. It's a 60-room property, and it's located in Henry County. Sorry, one second. And so, some people aren't familiar with boutique hotels. They're typically on the smaller scale. They're independent. They really focus on creating immersive experiences and a more intimate, bespoke stay. And so for this deal, this property is on about 7 acres of land. It's about 35,000 square feet, 60 keys. It already has parking for about 68 spaces, and it's a 3-story building. And what you'll see in the background is the Eagles Landing Country Club, which is an immediate demand driver. This country club hosts golf tournaments. It hosts large weddings, and so we hope to capture some of that business as soon as we open. So that's what we're going for. And again, our deal thesis here was to acquire this property below asking price. We want to modernize it. We want to position it as an upper upscale asset. Looking around the Stockbridge area, there are no upper upscale products in the market. So this will be the first entry into that market that we'd like to capture there. And you can see the proximity to the facility next door. And so, this project is going to be about 13 million total, with about 6 million in purchase price and about $5 million renovation budget. And we are projecting to stabilize at an occupancy of 69% with an average daily rate of $237. And we're going to exit in year 6 with a projected IRR of 22%, with a MOIC of multiple on invested capital of 3. All right, I think I'll turn it over to Jenny now.
Okay, I think I can replace the current share. That's what I'm going to do here. So welcome to the True by Hilton in Redlands, California. My name is Jenny Jackman, and I have been building things for other people for 22, 23 years. And I've always wanted to be a real estate developer. And so when I went through Tracy's program, She Has a Deal, I was absolutely thrilled to find out that I could actually do this. I could be a sponsor, and we've been working on this for about 1.5 years, and we've got some huge wins already. One is that we own the land, and 2 is that we're permitted. I just got some more emails this morning. We already were permitted on the grading, and it looks like we're just about permitted on building as well. So we're excited to get out of the ground. Again, we own the land. We're working on the remaining equity. We have been approved for a loan as well. So we just need to get started. So let me show you the True. It's a very exciting brand. It's one of the newer Hilton brands. It's been around for about 8 years now, but it's primarily on the East Coast, and I don't know why this isn't going forward. There we go. Tracy, do you want to do this where we pause? Typically, when we're doing a webinar just for the True, we pause for a moment and let everyone just read that first paragraph, disclaimer about investing and risk and things like that, and how we're raising with the SEC regulations. So real quickly here, I'm going to cover this very quickly. The investment summary, the debt summary, our sources and uses, our project timeline, and a look at the market, which is a very strong market, and we're very excited about that. This is a freeway hotel. And so in some ways, you can kind of almost think of it as a slam dunk, but it's also a growing town with some real appeal. that we just like so many things about it. Let's keep going. One of the awesome things about the True is that it has been ranked the #1 mid-scale hotel brand in America several times, again in 2024. And we're planning that this hotel would be managed by Tracy's management company, Kanza. You can see some of the great things we've got going for it here in a nutshell. We're raising, we already own the land, we're in a great location, and because this land was already entitled, we're still what is considered an accelerated timeline in California. It was entitled, so it's taken us 1.5 years to get to the permitted stage, which is, I would say, pretty typical for California. Our total project cost is 23. Hard costs are 15, and then we've got a soft cost factor of around 2. And those budgets are kind of, there's some contingency built in there, and there's some malleability here and there, but that's right where we are with our bank. The one exciting thing about this particular property that's unusual is that it is an opportunity zone. So that means there's really good benefits with no taxes to be paid if you do the entire hold period, which is 10 years. Now that hold period started when we bought the land. So we are well into that, but that's one huge benefit of this particular property. Quick sources and uses on the left side, you see the sources again, 23. Uses on the right. Our per unit cost, our per key cost is about $263. A little bit of project budget breakdown, the land 2.9, hard cost 14. We've got FF&E is about 1.3. You see how developer fees fit into a budget here, as well as closing costs, and a significant number for interest reserves, with how should be built into the property when you are developing from ground up. Here's our timeline, which we're well into. We're looking at opening in 2026, ramping and stabilizing very quickly. Historically, Trues really ramp quickly, which is another great thing about this particular brand. And then again, exit in year 10. Here's some really nice things as we start to enter the market. We're in San Bernardino, greater metropolitan area. It is the #1, has historically been a growth area. Always over the decades, but in the last few years since COVID, it's been the #1 growth area in California. We're about 63 miles east of LA. And here we see a primary driver, which is logistics. And this image on the left is the Western Connected Freight Corridor. It's basically Interstate 10 that connects LA, and the second, which is the first largest port in North America, and the second port down in Houston, the second largest port. And there's just so much traffic traveling along that all the time. And you can see the arrow there points us, our spot is a really sweet spot in 2 huge growth areas. And this is another graphic that shows where we are. At the left, you see Long Beach, that's the port. And on the right, you see our location. And again, the traffic that goes along I-10. Some other facts that showed an interesting growth pattern. We actually lost net population in the large cities of California and grew in the inland areas a little bit. So again, we're in a sweet spot there in the Riverside, San Bernardino metropolitan area. And here's some other things that just demonstrate growth in this area. Ontario, which is an adjacent city, you've probably heard of it because there's a large airport there as well as LAX. And this is growing. There's huge growth plans there. And the high-speed rail is also the first high-speed rail in the nation will come into Ontario. And there's a spur there that goes right down to Redlands. You could conceivably jump on that train, go to Vegas for the day and come back. This is right in Redlands proper, a breakdown of demand generators by job markets. And here we have some of the other big drivers in the area. Some of the large industries include healthcare, technology, and education. And there is some tourism in the area too. There's even skiing and a lot of hiking and biking. There are several large learning institutions adjacent. There's Redlands University, and there's also Cal State San Bernardino. And then another huge driver is a company called Esri, and they're a giant mapping company that has their fingers in just about every website in the world, and I'm not exaggerating. But they are local to Redlands. They grew in Redlands. They're a huge company and they're less than a mile away. We've spoken to them. They're excited about having a hotel that they can share business with. Here's some of the other tourist drivers. And again, here's a look at the Esri campus. They have customers from all over the world that are coming for learning sessions. They bring people in, they house people, they train people. You can see the adjacency of Esri here. You can see the True that is on the north side of I-10. And then there's this great shopping district. Actually, Esri has been a developer of Redlands, been very active in commercial development. And you can see the Esri campus there, as much as as well as some of the commercial development they've done that sits between us and them. Some great restaurants and some great shopping. And then we have a competitive set here. Though True is a mid-scale, it really competes with upper mid-scale. And you can see some of our competitive set hotels right there, and we're at the east side of our competitive set. Everything just right along the I-10 corridor. And here's some more, we won't get into this detail right now, but here's just some backup that shows our competitive set and the drivers. And our occupancy hovers right around the high 70s and 80% in this area. There's never quite been enough supply. We're happy that it still sits that way, and excited about getting these new rooms in this market. This shows the ramp time for a True. Again, I talked about that a little bit earlier. The True ramps very quickly and gains more than its fair share of rate in a given area. This gets a little bit technical here. And here's some of our metrics there at the reversion. We are projecting an NOI of 2.5 at the time we exit. Again, occupancy will grow a little bit, continues to be a growth area, and the occupancy will continue to be high. We don't see any new rooms after us coming into Redlands. There's nothing at the city yet at this time. We're seeing an average daily rate at the exit of 200, and we're using an exit cap rate in our projections of 8%. And we think that is very conservative, because what we've seen is that the exit rates are more like high sixes. And then we have our pro forma here. It's available. And I think that's it. I'll turn the time back over to everyone for questions.
Okay, we do have our first question from the crowd. Everybody, yeah, add your questions to the Q&A button, not the chat. I did just drop the link if you want to learn more about how to invest right now. I just put that in the chat. I have special chat access. Yes. Okay, so on to the question. Please detail the tax and income benefits of investing within an opportunity zone.
I can take that.
Okay, great.
All right. So when you invest in an opportunity zone, there are two things that you can benefit from. And one I'm going to speak to as may happen, because the tax codes for opportunity zones is set to expire in 2016. But with the Trump administration, I've been told that it will be extended. So the first benefit of investing in an opportunity zone is that you can take your capital gains from any other types of assets, and you can roll them into the Truly Redlands project, and you will defer those capital gains, okay? But only until the end of 2026. So if the taxes for the opportunity zone expires in 2016 and it's not renewed, then you would have to start paying those deferred taxes in 2017 for that you gained from another property or from stocks or bonds or another asset where you have capital gains. If Trump extends it, which he says he will, I don't know when that becomes official, so keep watching. We'll let you know as well. I'm sure we'll be communicating that. If you were to take those capital gains today in 2025 and they extend that another 10 years, then those dollars that you take from your existing asset and you roll into Truly Redlands would be tax deferred until such time as it expires. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So that's one benefit of investing in an opportunity zone, which is a great benefit to defer capital gains and be able to take those capital gains and put them into another project that will make money. So the second piece is that when we hold the property for 10 years, and we're already into the property a year and a half right now, when we sell that property, any capital gains would be would not have any taxes. I was going to say, there's no taxes on capital gains for opportunity zone. So any capital gains that are earned on the Truly Redlands project would be free of taxes. Okay. So those are two benefits to investing in an opportunity zone. So one, you can take existing capital gains and roll them into the project and defer those capital gains as of today to the end of 2026. So it means you can take that money, defer paying the IRS, and invest it in Truly Redlands with the opportunity to earn more capital gains and not have to pay those taxes until 2027. If the Trump administration extends the rules for the opportunity zone, or Congress, it's probably a Congress issue, not Trump administration, then it would go to whatever time frame is established for that. If you invest new dollars in, or even existing capital gains, any capital gains that come from Truly Redlands, those would be free and clear of any capital gains taxes. Okay.
So I had a clarifying question from.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so is this investment only helps to offset capital gains from an existing asset?
Say that one more time.
Does this investment only help offset the capital gains from an existing asset?
No. So if you take new money and put it into the project, then there's no capital gains when the project is sold, as long as we hold it for 10 years or more. Okay, so you can use new money as well. It's a double benefit. I'm not an accountant, so I'm careful with how I say this, but there is benefit to taking existing capital gains and deferring those taxes and putting it into another asset that could potentially create additional gains. But it can be existing money or new money.
Great, thank you so much. So here's another question. I think it should be an easy one. Is this an opportunity for accredited investors only?
Very good question. So for the first time, we are doing a Reg CF and a Reg D at the same time, simultaneously. The Reg CF is not ready for investment just yet. We'll announce that when it's open. It's a big process for Reg CF. So if you're not familiar with Reg CF, it's regulation crowdfunding that was created under the Jobs Act, and it requires us to offer shares on a separate portal that is FINRA registered, which we've been working with the host of that site to get the Reg CF. So if you're not accredited, you can invest in the Reg CF offering, which will come up at some point very soon. I'm gonna look at Venus. Venus, do you know if it's ready yet? There's a lot of regulations for the Reg CF. So we've been very soon. We've been going through this for quite some time. So, but the Reg D, if you are accredited, you can invest in the Reg D, which is on our portal now and ready to invest. Now, the difference between the Reg CF and the Reg D is that the cost per share is higher for the Reg CF and lower for the Reg D. So Reg D requires a larger investment. And so the larger the investment, of course, not of course, but in this particular deal, the greater will be your return, because you're paying less per share, and we are offering a greater preferred return for Reg D. So we're not trying to penalize non-accredited investors. It's just that the larger dollar amounts gets us to the goal quicker. And so we want to incent those who are accredited to invest through the Reg D. So there's more benefits, for the Reg D. But if you're not accredited, then it's okay. Please, join this, movement, join this incredible opportunity to invest through the Reg CF. But it is not open just yet. Any day, the Reg CF will be open. But please go to investors.tltsolutions.net and register for our Reg D portal. so that you can be one of the first to invest. We've just opened this up. And so, you know, we definitely would love to have you invest in the Reg D if you are accredited.
Follow-up question on that is, what is the current minimum to invest? Oh, actually, I don't know. Can we talk about that? There's some.
Yeah, we can. We're Reg D, so we can.
Great.
Or Reg C, so we can talk about all of this. So it's 25,000 is the minimum, which, as you know, we usually do 50. So this is a second deal with 25. So take advantage of that, but 25. And then we have different share classes, and you can find that all at investors.tltsolutions.net. Again, the more you invest, the higher your preferred return, because we have different classes of shares based on the level of investment that you make. So there's Reg CF as well, which will be coming soon. So 25,000.
Okay, great. So clarifying that the Reg CF is coming soon. It's not available yet, and so right now it's really just for accredited investors.
Right. And if you go to Abby, did you put on the in the
Yeah,
chat
in the chat.
the link? So if you go to our landing page, and if you click on if you need the Reg CF, if you click on there, put in your information, and we'll make sure you'll be the first to know. So as soon as the Reg CF is live, and an email will go out to anybody who's put in, you know, put their name and address into that. And there is a minimum. I'm sorry, there's a maximum amount of investment we can take through Reg CF. So you'll want to be the first to know, and you'll want to make that investment as soon as possible. But the Reg D is live and open now, and you're welcome to go to that page, even if you are non-accredited, just, you know, to see all the details around the investment as a whole, to see the you know, overall view of the SHaD Momentum Fund. So this is a fund with these two investments in it, and it's, again, sponsored by myself and the sponsors here, Venus and Jenny, but also She Has a Deal. So this is being done under She Has a Deal. TLT Solutions, my company, we are co-sponsors in both deals. The exciting thing about the True project, it is a new construction project, but we are now ready to break ground. So you're getting in at the right time, meaning you won't have the wait period that our early adopters did, who came into the Truly Redlands project, who will benefit from coming in early. And then with Venus's project in Georgia, that project is a reno project. So the building exists. It will take time to renovate it. The assisted living patients have all moved out, or they're not patients really, right? They're guests or tenants. They've all moved out. And so when we close on that property next month, then we'll begin that construction process. And I would love for for Venus to talk a little bit more about that in a minute after we answer the questions with respect to what's, you know, how the branding process is going, because I would love for our investors, you know, to get in on those last pieces of making those final decisions around the brand. You know, we'll be probably sending out, do you like this or do you not like that? Just to, you know, make it a little more inclusive to what we're designing. But we are designing for that particular location, you know, next to the Golf and Country Club, which is a fantastic opportunity. She can talk more about the benefits to our guests who will be staying and the benefits they'll have at the country club.
All right. So here's another question for you. How do we know SHaD won't sell assets prior to the 10-year time horizon?
How do we know they won't? We won't unless there is a dire issue. So our responsibility as asset managers and sponsors is to ensure that the investors can maximize their returns. And so there would have to be some major issue for us to sell early. But there would be, from my understanding, I'm not an accountant, I have to always say that, is that there's some prorations with the taxes if you do sell earlier. But we would only sell earlier if it was some imminent reason, right? Say the area, something is, you know, going terribly, you know, wrong in that area, and that we would stand to lose more by staying in the project, you know, than exiting the project. But we're incented as greatly as our investors to stay in the project for the 10 years because, you know, the tax rates are probably, you know, they're like 20% today. Don't know what is going to happen in the next, you know, month or so with respect to what taxes will be going forward. So we are incented, we're owners, we have probably the most invested in any other projects to avoid those capital gains taxes. But again, as asset managers, I have to repeat that we're going to do what's in the best interest of the investors. Okay.
Thank you.
We don't expect San Bernardino or the Inland Empire to go down and, it's rare, but that's happened, where an area is going down and you want to get out at a certain time, or there's a reason to get out earlier than projected.
Well, here's a relevant question related to that. How have the fires impacted the Redlands build, insurance, etc.?
Yeah. So Jenny, do you want to talk about any locale issues? I know it's not impacting it at all at this point, but you want to speak to that, and I can speak to some of the, what insurance and things like that occur as a result.
Will you repeat the question? Was it something about the fires? I didn't hear the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said, how have the fires impacted the Redlands build, insurance, etc.?
Okay, so I've had that question a couple of times in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, it will not affect them. We are a significant distance from where the fires are burning right now. But that said, it's already high, right? The insurance is already relatively high, and it's high in California too. So I don't expect them to impact our insurance at all. That's my answer.
So I will kind of add to that a little bit, having already have property in California. So we build in a factor of increases in insurance into the model. And we know where we're located. We know that California overall has always, been impacted by insurance rates because of the fires, but the whole country is actually seeing impacts of high insurance because of just natural disasters as a whole. So the way that us developers think about it is, when we consciously know where we're developing, and we develop in places that have high demand, and if those places actually have, higher, just experience around disasters for fire and whether it's hurricanes or fire, we build that in to the models, knowing that that could be a factor. Some of the things that I have no specific information, but my understanding too is that the states where there are, larger natural disasters always have a stop loss type of product, so that because it wouldn't just impact us, it would be millions, of businesses in the area that would be impacted, and therefore they are setting up, they already have, and they're strengthening programs, state programs, so that businesses as well as, different residents, et cetera, have other options for insurance, but no doubt it will be high. And it's already underwritten as high.
Okay, so it's already part of the plan.
Yeah.
No. All right. So is there a way to participate in only one of the hotels? Question from the crowd. Yes.
So you can participate in truly Redlands only, but with SHaD Momentum and Golden Crest, it's a twofer. So it's not going to impact you negatively to invest in SHaD Momentum with truly Redlands in the project.
I have kind of a fun one here for you, Tracy. How did you get started in all this?
Someone's asking that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Let's get the short version going. So I actually started investing in single families and wanted to invest in commercial. And so I was looking for an asset class that I could get excited about. And through my journey of learning about commercial real estate, I found out that hotels could be owned. At the time, I traveled extensively for work and stayed in a lot of hotels and loved a good hotel. I also like to travel for leisure. And so, yeah, I decided that I wanted an asset class that I could get excited about, and hotels excited me. And so as soon as I knew that it was an option, which I didn't initially, I went all in and started the journey learning about hotels. And now I own, operate, and develop hotels. So it's been a journey over the last 10 years.
I feel like there's a lot more to that story, but
We won't bore everybody today.
yeah. Let's see, what long-term impact do you envision She Has a Deal having on the hospitality and real estate sectors?
Yeah, so I mean, the goal, is to see more women on the ownership side of the business. So there's plenty of women that are supporting the businesses and working in different roles, working in the business. And I really wanted to see more women owning and developing. So the lots of wealth is created in any kind of commercial real estate, and there weren't and there isn't enough women on that ownership development side. So I wanted the brilliance of women to be reflected in the products and services that the hotels delivered. And the best way to do that was to get more women into ownership, more women like Venus, who has a background doing adaptive reuse for other owners, to be able to create her own vision, for the product and the services and what would be offered in the hotel, which has been it's an amazing experience that we're still going through. And Venus is, right there front and center, giving her input into the design, into the brand for this hotel. And I feel it and experiencing everything that I envisioned when I started She Has a Deal. So really it's to see more women making the decisions. Have you ever gone to a hotel? And again, this is not a man woman thing. I have to get that very clear, because we are not trying to wipe out men. We love men. We want men to be developing too. We want to be developing with them. I just wanted to see more women who wanted, like myself, to be, in ownership and development, to have the opportunity to do so. We all have different experiences that are not today, in my opinion, fully reflected in the hotel products that are there. So by us, and yes, we are architects and designers in some of the hotels, but the owners or the developers are the ones who make the ultimate decision about what that brand is going to be, or what services are going to be delivered, where that hotel is going to be built. I wanted more of us women to have the opportunity to do that, to let our brilliance be experienced, by travelers, by guests. But I was going to say, how many people I know for myself have been to a hotel and like, well, who designed this, right? Like, why is the shower on the opposite side and you get in, your hair gets wet? It's a thing that, women don't want. But the number of things I noticed that I say that, if a woman had designed this, I don't think, that these would have been some of the things that would have been reflective. Or there's some other things that can be additive to it. So essentially, I want more women on the ownership side of the business that want to be in the ownership side of the business.
Well, I think this is a great moment to turn it back over to Venus to talk about that brand development work. And also, we want to remind all of our attendees here today that please get your questions in on the Q&A section. Keep them coming. Venus?
Great, thanks, Abby. I'll go ahead and, since we have more time, I'll reshare my deck here. All right, can you see that?
Yes.
Yes.
And so, hang on. Oh, sorry, just give me 1 second here. Oh, no. All right, so I mean, just to kind of ramp back up here, this location is located in a major corridor coming from the Port of Savannah to the Atlanta Hartsfield Airport, which is the busiest airport in the country. So it's a major kind of transfer hub. So there's a lot of opportunity for the business traveler, as well as the kind of luxury traveler coming in for golf tournaments and everything. So we want to kind of cater to that. The facility next door, which is an immediate demand driver, it hosts a lot of celebrity golf tournaments. It's the home course for some local facilities nearby. And so we want to cater to that crowd. So we're trying to come up with a brand that can really speak to the community of Eagles Landing. The community demographics, it's about a third African American, a third Caucasian, and a third Indian. And so, or South Asian. And so we have a fusion of different diversities there. And so we want to try and come up with a brand that kind of speaks to everyone. Just real quick, I'll get through this. This is just a look at our competitive set here. And so these are, like I said, there are no upper upscale properties in that immediate area. So we had to expand out in the greater Atlanta area to look for a competitive set of properties that we'd like to compare ourselves to. So a little bit of the positioning. Right now I've set it up as an upscale haven that balances classic charm with secluded luxury. And so, this is my kind of immediate idea. And so we're working with a branding company out of Las Vegas called Monogram, and they are helping us to really kind of position this property in this market. And so, it's on the outside, it has a kind of classic kind of Georgian architecture, and we're going to work with that so that we can focus more of the renovation dollars on the interior of the building. And so, the building has these kind of long terraces, and how it differentiates itself from the competitive set is that each guest room will have its own exterior balcony space. And so we're really kind of trying to think about what types of amenities we can offer here to really bring this facility to life. And so here's just a little example of the mood board that I've created. And so, we want this to be a modern contemporary style. We want it to be a celebration of architecture, design, contemporary art, a lot of really nice art pieces. Just some movement. We want it to be like a local neighborhood hotspot, a place for you to be able to come and feel like you belong. And so that's kind of what we're getting at on the branding. The country club next door is a private membership only facility. So we want you to be able to, come to this facility and kind of get the same connection to community that you would get over there, but without a membership.
Venus, can you talk about the relationship that we have with the country club for our guests?
Yes, so we are, in discussions to kind of, really establish a more cohesive relationship with the country club next door. And so, usually in hotels, you see various amenities. But so since we have such an immediate demand driver right next door within walking distance, we are, trying to establish a partnership with them to use some of their amenities for the hotel guests. So you would get almost like a resort pass where you'd be able to use their swimming facilities and their fitness center, as well as their golf, excuse me, get, some play of golf in also for the resort fee. So having that right next door would be a great, extension to the hotel and in terms of the amenities that we can offer a hotel guest.
Now, they also have tennis courts and pickleball, and they have an adult pool and a family pool. So, and it's literally like, I don't know, not even 100 feet,
Correct.
from the hotel. It's a little walkway because when the hotel was built, it was actually built with the country club. So it was the country club's hotel. And when the owner sold, the first owner sold the country club, they sold the hotel or whoever bought it sold the hotel to the assisted living company. And so it's been an assisted living facility for over 10 years, Venus?
Right.
So
right.
we're really bringing it back to its highest and best use of a hotel, but with a much greater flair in 2025.
And so, here's just some kind of some of the amenities. We will do a small, fitness facility in it, business center market, kind of a grand kind of communal living space as well. It will have food and beverage also. We'll have, some small bites, bar and lounge, and just a full service restaurant space as well. Okay. I'll stop sharing now.
That looks awesome, Venus. It looks like it's going to be beautiful.
No, thank you. I think so. I think we're, we're really working with this branding company to really kind of create something special for this neighborhood. And I think it will be an asset to the community, and I think it will pay off for investors. I'm hoping anyway.
Yeah, no, no, definitely. Because with the, I think what's the most special about the place is there really isn't, and we've been calling it upper upscale, and it probably means nothing to investors. Upper upscale, those are lodging terminology, but I think someone said to me the other day, they call it aspiring luxury, right? So we're not trying to be luxurious, but we are providing an upper tier lodging experience in a market that does not have it. And in fact, in a very strong market with pretty much all the different brands, but nothing that is on the aspiring luxury upper upscale moment. So this market does what, 80%? Is that right, Venus? 82% occupancy year over year. It's a very strong market, and ADRs that were around, was that one, give me the, I won't mess that number up. What was the occupancy rate just for the brand, because all they have is the branded hotels.
Yeah, I think it's in the 180 range for that
Yeah.
area. Yeah.
So it's a very strong market. So we would price, of course, above that. We've projected to price above that. But knowing that that's evidence that people are willing to pay, a strong rate. And if we deliver something greater than what is available today, we can charge more for it. And again, creating this lodging experience that doesn't exist in the market today. So many of the guests, the VIP guests, the high net worth guests who come to the country club, if they're coming for an event, and they told us they do an event a week, right? They're doing some type of a wedding or some type of event every week.
Yeah, it's either a large wedding or a golf tournament.
Yeah, or even some kind of social event, birthday party, etc. And many of the guests will go all the way to Atlanta because they don't want to stay in a just regular low tier, mid tier branded hotel. So they'll go to Atlanta for more the luxury stay. So the country club is very excited for the vision that we have for the property, as well as community members. Venus conducted a focus group with many community members for the project. So we received excellent input from them, and we're using that information as well in the branding and design.
Awesome.
We do have a couple more questions that have come in. And they're both related to sort of the deal structure. So we might have to kind of, Venus, get your slide deck ready. Okay, so first one is, I know that there's no Hilton ownership rights, but is there a Hyatt with a minimum investment amount?
We're working on that. Hyatt doesn't traditionally have that the same way that people may be familiar with Hilton. So we're working on that. I don't have any specific information on that today. Friends and family would be, generally available, but anything above that, I cannot say today.
Can you share what the minimum investment and return will be for the Stockbridge property? Sorry if we missed it earlier. Very familiar with the area and country club there, it says.
Yeah. So it's with SHaD Momentum. So we have one vehicle, SHaD Momentum, that will invest the larger share in the Stockbridge property and a smaller share in the True by Hilton in California. And so depending on where you invest, what level you come in at, the share prices are different. So if you're coming in on the Reg D and you're investing $25,000 to $49,999, the preferred return is 8%, 8%. And then it goes up to 9% when you invest 50,000 or more. And so we have a preferred structure with a 70-30 split. So for those who are not familiar with the preferred return, investors are entitled to the first 8% or 9. And then anything above that is split between the sponsors and the investors, 70% to investors, 30% to the sponsors. So so that's the structure. So the general projected return blended, and it's projected because the blend may be plus or minus, just due to the True being pretty much ready to go, and we're looking, to get a sliver, from SHaD momentum for the True. But we have and I'm not going to try to quote it because I forgot, honestly, like I don't want to mess it up, but it is on the landing page, which I believe you put, Abby, in the chat. So the blended projected rates are in the chat. So it could be, greater or less, again, those are projections, and those are forward-looking projections, as we're not able to know fully, what those properties would produce. But based on what we expect the properties to produce, as well as what the promotes or the carried interest to sponsors would be, those are the, targeted returns that we would expect SHaD momentum to produce.
Thank you so much.
Uh-huh.
So we're getting toward the end of our time here. I want to make sure everyone who has a question gets a chance to ask it. So go ahead, and if you have any more questions, now's the time. Add it to the Q&A section. We have one more ready to go. So what trends in the hospitality and real estate industries are driving the demand for programs like yours?
Our programs, that's an interesting question. What trends? Well, I think that everyone was interested. I don't know. I know that much. I think there's just a consciousness and understanding about, women taking on more leadership roles in all industries. And so I think it's not necessarily just hospitality where we're seeing women take on greater leadership roles. We know that women have always been capable. It's just maybe societal that we, didn't have access to do so. So I don't know if there's anything specific, but when I came into hospitality, because I entered from healthcare, I started my career in healthcare, which is very similar, heads and beds, but for different reasons. There was definitely a lack of what I saw, women that were on the ownership side of the business. And so I wanted to focus on that and change that. And when I introduced She Has a Deal to the market with the support of, Hilton and Marriott, and then, Hyatt quickly, came on and partnered as founding partners of She Has a Deal, we saw a shift within the industry. So you'll note that there are many, different programs and organizations who have focused, projects to help more women become owners, to help more women climb the corporate ladder and be in leadership positions in hospitality. So we're seeing that continue to elevate as a result. So there's more, I guess, consciousness that there are women who want to do it, and there are women that are capable of doing it. And so we just wanted to, enlighten people, and we wanted the women to be prepared, and we, through our program, and it's accelerated, that creates the competencies that are required, to be successful.
Well, it's really interesting. You've got some major brands backing SHaD, right?
Yes.
Yes.
We pretty much have all of them. So there's Hilton and Marriott were the first. Hyatt came on the next year as founding, but we also have IHG, we have Wyndham, we have Choice, we have Red Roof Inn, we have also one of the newer ones, Sonesta. So we do get support from many of the brands, the major brands that are out there. Did I forget anybody, you guys? I'll make sure I don't forget any of our brands.
I don't think so.
Yeah. We've had a core in the past. We hope they'll come back and join us. They had a lot of leadership changes. So we are, we're definitely grateful that they see and desire to see more women developing their hotels.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I think it's been so wonderful to hear from everybody here today. I'm inspired personally by, seeing more women leading businesses. Tracy, I think I'll turn it over to you to kind of wrap up with some closing statements.
Yes, absolutely. So Venus, Jenny, thank you. Thank you for creating such powerful, I think, projects that have a great return on investment potential that I know you'll execute well on. And for those who are here, listening and interested in investing, we would, love to, talk to you more if you have questions and, want to partner with us. These will be historical developments that are completed when they're done. Jenny with a ground up development in California, and Jenny has a wealth of experience developing all types of commercial real estate assets. And with Venus and her experience in architecture and adaptive reuse, I am confident, that these projects, will do what we want them to do. And I'm so excited that to be working with these ladies and partnering with them and helping to elevate them in the space and to be a model, for other women who are coming behind. We have 17 women in SHaD Pitch 2025, which will take place on May 1st at the Hilton and Tyson's Corner. So invite all of you to come and check it out and hear about more opportunities that will be coming. That's May 1st at the Hilton and Tyson's Corner. I will be sending out announcements for that shortly, probably next week with that. But if you are interested in investing, you can go to investors.tltsolutions.net. And in the chat, I think you also have the link to the landing page that has information overall about both projects that will take you to to put your information in if you need to have the Reg CF, or you can go straight to the Reg D page and get information and invest right now, because we're open and we're taking investors.
Great. Thanks everyone for being here today. Oh, it looks like we have one more question. If you've already invested in the True, can you add on the Hyatt deal?
You absolutely can, because the shares for SHaD Momentum are different shares than the shares for Truly Redlands. So you can, if you want to add more to Truly Redlands, that's fine too. But if you add to or invest in SHaD Momentum, again, it's a 2-for-1. So you get the diversification of having a piece of both projects. But yes, you can invest in it. You will see 2 K1s with, 2 different investments.
Wonderful. Delighted to be here with everyone today. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Abby.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Take care.